The first controlled and sustained flight of an airplane was conducted in December of 1903 by the Wright brothers. Years passed, and airplanes became increasingly more sophisticated and powerful, but their design and functionality had several limitations. They needed a long runway to take off and land, and they weren't all that effective for certain purposes. These problems were solved, however, when another powerful flying machine was invented, the helicopter. A helicopter, or chopper, is a type of aircraft that uses rotating wings called rotor blades to fly. They are a critical component of any helicopter's flight. Helicopters have several advantages over fixed-wing aircraft. First of all, they don't need long runways to operate. They can take off and land pretty much anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a forest or the backyard of a house. Choppers, when it comes to accessing small places, can do a lot that airplanes simply can't. This comes in very handy during military operations or even civilian and medical emergencies. Choppers can also pause mid-flight to load and unload cargo, which is why they're so widely used during rescue operations around the world. Although helicopters can't go as fast as airplanes, they are much more maneuverable and offer a great deal of flexibility in terms of the places you can go. Although exactly why and how lightning occurs is a little contentious, it is generally agreed that lightning happens between the downdrafts and updrafts of thunderstorms. Lighter particles move upwards to the top of the cloud and become positively charged, while bulkier ones descend toward the bottom of the cloud and become negatively charged. When this differential buildup of charge grows large enough, lightning is released between these regions. In reality, most of the lightning takes place within the cloud, but some bolts do find their way out and descend to the ground, which can cause fires, injuries, and general mayhem. Lightning is not only bright, but also very hot. The temperature of lightning is a whopping 27,000 degrees Celsius. To put that in perspective, that temperature is nearly 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. When lightning strikes, it often burns the surrounding air due to its extreme temperatures. Lightning can also carry over 1 billion joules of energy. As electrical power is equal to energy per unit time, the power that it exudes is also humongous. A high amount of energy is deposited in just a fraction of a second.
Renewable energy has many benefits. First, it can combat climate change because it creates no direct greenhouse gas emissions. The only emissions that they produce are indirect, meaning those that result from manufacturing parts, installation, operation, and maintenance. But even those are minimal. Second, renewable energy can decrease pollution and therefore reduce threats to our health. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric systems create no air pollution emissions, and geothermal and biomass energy systems emissions are much lower than non-renewable energy sources. Third, renewable energy is a reliable source of power. Because renewable energy sources are, well, renewable, they will never run out. Once built, renewable facilities cost very little to operate, and the fuel is often free. As a result, renewable energy prices tend to be stable over time. While renewable energy has many advantages, it is not without downsides. It is difficult for renewable energy sources to generate power on the same large scale as fossil fuels. Building wind farms and dams can disrupt wildlife and migration patterns and lead to ecological destruction. Both solar and wind energy are intermittent. They only generate power while the sun is shining or while the wind is blowing. Batteries can store excess energy for later use. However, they are often costly. Invasive species are non-native organisms that cause considerable damage when introduced to a new area. These species compete with native wildlife for resources and thrive at the expense of the local ecosystem. The introduction of invasive species is often associated with human activity. Boats that travel between different bodies of water can carry hitchhikers, such as the zebra mussel. One of the most notorious invasive species in the United States, these rapidly reproducing mussels clog pipes and overtake beaches in the Great Lakes.
Some invasive species, however, are introduced intentionally. In the early 20th century, cane toads were brought to Australia as a form of pest control. Today, these poisonous amphibians number in the millions and have caused a decline in native predators on the island. It's not just animals. Bacteria, fungi, and plants can also become invasive. Brought to South Africa in the 19th century, the black wattle is an invasive tree often used for timber and firewood. This beautiful tree and other thirsty invasives are depleting the country's already record-low water supply. Because of their impact on human health, ecosystems, and infrastructure, invasive species cost the global economy over $1 trillion each year.
A meteor shower occurs when the trail of interplanetary debris, like the one left behind by comets or asteroids, enters the Earth's atmosphere. The interplanetary debris is mostly made up of space rocks, also called meteoroids. As the meteoroids fall toward Earth, they produce drag throughout the rock. This causes the meteoroids to heat up. The streak of intense light we see is the hot air left behind the burning rock. When Earth encounters many meteoroids at once, we call it a meteor shower. Meteor showers are usually named for the constellation in which their radiant appears. The most common and famous meteor showers are Perseids, Leonid, Geminids, and Lyrids. However, it is estimated that there are around 21 meteor showers every year, with most of them occurring between August and December. Meteors enter Earth's atmosphere at speeds ranging from 25,000 miles per hour to 160,000 miles per hour. It's frightening to imagine all that interplanetary debris flying toward us. Cameras around the world have captured meteors falling from the sky, and although some eventually hit, most of them disintegrate or burn off. The remaining pieces fall into the ocean.